Welcome to This Explainer. I'm so glad you're here, because today we're tackling something I know so many of you struggle with. You know the exact feeling, right? You studied the grammar, you've got all this vocabulary neatly filed away in your brain, and you understand people perfectly fine. But then, the second it's your turn to actually open your mouth and speak, total blank. Just absolute silence. It's so incredibly frustrating. Well, today we're going to completely dismantle that mental block and turn that blank mind into a fluent flow. Okay, let's dive into this. Why does this actually happen? I mean, is it because you're not smart enough? Or maybe you just don't know enough words yet? No, absolutely not. The real reason your mind just completely wipes itself out is fear. It's this sudden, overwhelming worry of being judged by others. Your heart starts racing and you think, oh man, what if I say the wrong thing? What if my grammar sounds terrible? Are they going to laugh at my accent? Because of those heavy, anxious thoughts, you just freeze up. And what happens when you freeze? You stay silent. And honestly, silence is exactly what slowly destroys your confidence. I want you to look at this quote and really let it sink in. Confidence is not magic. Confidence is a skill. Please reassure yourself with this fact. Literally, no one is just born with this magical, inherent ability to speak a second language without any fear. Like every other skill on the planet, confidence is something you train step by step. Those fluent speakers you look up to, they didn't drink some magic potion. They just trained their confidence muscle. And you know what? We're going to do the exact same thing. Let's move to our roadmap and see how this builds our inside-out method. We've got 5 steps to rewire your brain today. 1. Overcome fear of mistakes. 2. Train your mouth daily. 3. Think directly in English. 4. Speaking starts with listening. And 5. Build a confident mindset. So jumping right into step 1. Overcome fear of mistakes. Because, as we said, silence destroys confidence. And this brilliantly illustrates what we're talking about. See, a lack of vocabulary isn't the real enemy here. Fear is. And here's the tricky part. It's a total trap. The more you avoid speaking just to protect yourself from making a mistake, well, the scarier speaking actually becomes. Avoidance just feeds the fear. Action is what kills it. We really have to stop viewing mistakes as proof of failure, because honestly, they're the exact proof that you're learning. Just think about a toddler learning to walk. Do they stand up, take a wobbly step, fall flat on their diaper, and say, well, I guess walking just isn't my thing? No way. They stumble, they fall, and they get right back up until it's natural. Speaking English is the exact same process. Stumbling, pausing, messing up the grammar, that is totally natural. It's just an unavoidable part of learning the skill. Let me break the fourth wall for a second and look you straight in the eye to tell you something absolutely crucial. Perfection is not the starting line for confidence. Practice is. Think about riding a bike. Sometimes, literally the only way your body figures out balance is by leaning too far and falling over. With English, making those mistakes and correcting them, that's how your brain actually wires itself for fluency. Surviving a mistake, like realizing you used the totally wrong word, but hey, the person still understood you and the sky didn't fall, that is how your brain learns that speaking is actually safe. Moving on to section 2, train your mouth daily, because action reduces fear. Okay, we need to get physical here. Silently reading grammar rules or just binge watching videos for hours, it's just not going to cut it. I mean, your brain's getting a workout, sure, but your mouth definitely isn't. Your actual physical mouth has muscles, and just like hitting the gym, it needs daily training to nail the sounds and rhythm of a new language. And here's how insanely easy it is to start building that muscle memory alone. You don't even need a conversation partner. Check out this incredibly simple daily routine. Step 1. When you wake up, literally say out loud to your empty room, "Good morning, I need water." Step 2. When you're eating lunch, tell yourself out loud, "This food is good." Step 3, stepping outside, just say, "The weather is nice." Now, I know this feels almost too simple, but you are actively syncing up your brain and your mouth without the pressure of anyone watching you. So the crucial point here is this. Simple English spoken daily is very powerful. Please do not wait around for perfect or super advanced vocabulary before you finally let yourself speak. Fluency isn't built by suddenly memorizing 1,000 fancy words overnight. It's built by taking easy, simple words and using them so repeatedly that they just flow right out of you without a second thought. All right, section 3, think directly in English, which means we have to stop translating. Look, translating in your head is a massive, massive mental block. Think about it. When you think in your native language, mentally translate the grammar, hunt for the right English word, and then try to say it, you are completely exhausting your brain. It destroys your speaking speed, and that awkward delay makes you panic, which completely tanks your confidence. Trying to force complicated sentences through a mental translation filter is just painfully slow and super stressful. Your brain is scrambling for the rules. But direct English thought, it's fast and it's confident. When you bypass the translation and think directly in English, your mind actually calms down. The pressure drops. You stop obsessing over perfect grammar, and you start actually focusing on connecting with the person you're talking to. So how do we actually do this? Well, we start tiny. I am tired. I need water. Boom. Snap. Just like that. You do not need these grand, complex, philosophical thoughts to start thinking in English. Starting with tiny, direct thoughts is literally the secret sauce to building your flow. Like tomorrow morning when you wake up, think those exact simple sentences in English right away. Let's keep that rapid fire pacing going. The table's brown, I am studying, my phone is on the bed. I want you to actively describe your immediate surroundings out loud as you move through your day. Connect English directly to your real, physical life right now, without overthinking the grammar. By doing this, you are actively training your brain to just completely bypass your native language. Which brings us to Section 4. Speaking starts with listening, or what we call the input-output loop. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this fundamental truth. You simply cannot output confident, natural speech if you aren't consistently inputting the natural sounds and rhythms of the language. If you want to speak well, you've got to train your ears every single day. It's just like music. Long before someone can sit down and play a gorgeous song on the piano, they have to listen to the music, right? They have to internalize the beat, the rhythm, the melody. Language is exactly the same thing. Daily listening subconsciously trains your brain in pronunciation and flow. It literally makes the language feel normal to your brain, which drastically dials down that fear you feel when it's time to speak. So let's break down this actionable checklist. First, dedicate just 15 to 20 minutes a day to listening. And please don't start with some complicated, super fast news broadcast. Start with easy, simple content like beginner podcasts. Next, try a technique called shadowing. This just means repeating what you hear immediately out loud, kind of mimicking their exact style and tone. And honestly, the most important part? Focus on the general meaning. Do not panic if you miss a word here or there. Honestly, even native speakers miss words sometimes. A relaxed, calm brain is going to absorb the language so much faster than a panicked one. Finally, Section 5, build a confident mindset. This is the long game. All right, this is all about conquering that final psychological hurdle, that incredibly toxic habit of comparing your own skills to fluent native speakers or those advanced learners you see while scrolling through social media. That kind of comparison just breeds unnecessary stress and frustration. So I want to deliver this directly to you as a bit of an empathetic wake-up call. You are comparing your beginning to someone else's result. It is just completely unfair to yourself. You're seeing their current fluency, sure, but what you don't see are the years of mistakes, the fear, the super awkward conversations, and the daily grind they push through to get there. Think of it like looking at a tiny little seed compared to a big, strong tree. You admire the tree's strength, but you kind of forget that it took immense patience, time, and daily watering to grow from that tiny seed. Literally every single fluent speaker you hear was once a nervous beginner who made a ton of mistakes. Growth requires so much patience. You just can't expect massive, life-changing results in just 1 week. And that leads us perfectly to this ultimate truth. Real confidence is built by becoming better than the person you were yesterday. Your journey is completely your own. It doesn't belong to the crowd, and it definitely doesn't belong to social media. You've got to actively swap out those negative, comparative thoughts with a rock-solid belief that your daily, personal effort is actually working. Celebrate the fact that you understand a little bit more today than you did a year ago. That's a huge win. So, we've covered the roadmap. You know now that confidence is a skill, that mistakes are literal proof of learning, and that training your mouth and your ears every single day is the absolute key. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, highly provocative challenge. Are you going to stay silent and let fear control your progress? Or are you going to open your mouth, take some action, and start making your first glorious, wonderful mistakes today? The choice is entirely yours. Now get out there and start speaking.